Oh, yeah. All right, I'm just kind of waiting to see who's scraggling in. Very, very cool. All right. So we are going to make an Asian soup. I know that's a very generic term, Asian style soup, but bear with me. This is a really, really good soup that uses tofu. I had some tofu in the fridge I really wanted to use up. Firm tofu, zucchini, a carrot, and chicken broth. If you're vegetarian, you want to use a veggie broth, but I had chicken broth and I just wanted to use it. Actually, chicken broth adds a flavor to the tofu that's really great, but I don't know, maybe you don't eat tofu and chicken broth in the same diet. Some of us do. So, but veggie broth will work just fine, and some cool spices. It's very easy, very cool, and we've got some cool gadgets I want to show off in the kitchen that will make our lives a lot easier. So let's first see what we need. Let me go through, and first things first. First things first, I got to show you. I'm wearing my favorite pajama pants again. So these are the dinosaur camouflage pajama pants for men, and yes, grown-ups can wear fun things too. And you know, it's Saturday. It's Saturday. Although to be fair, I actually wore these on a Tuesday as well. Maybe it was. It was during a weekday. I remember that I was wearing these again. But I like these. They're comfortable. They're super great. They're just fun, comfortable pants to work around the house in. So there you go. Those are the dinosaur camouflage pants that you're seeing me in right now. All right. So I'm sure you want to get to actual cooking stuff, but I do want to show off those pants. That's why. So if you're looking for something fun to wear while you're doing this, that is the deal. So first things we're going to do is, so I did not add carrots and zucchini to this shopping list because sometimes the produce is not always available for everybody. It depends on your area. So tofu's on that, but there's not a lot of ingredients. So if you scroll through, all those ingredients are what we're going to use. Most of it is kind of for flavor and seasoning. So you'll see it's a very simple, but it's going to be great. And if you never tried persimmon vinegar, we're going to try that today. I'll talk about that in a bit. Persimmon vinegar is wow. I recently got turned on to it during Chinese New Year. I was cooking with it. And man, oh man. I mean, apple cider vinegar, if you needed a pinch, works well. But I mean, persimmon vinegar, and we'll get to it. Or if you can't wait, just kind of scroll and click on that persimmon vinegar because if you don't have a bottle in your house, it is absolutely something you got to try. So anyways, that's the one from Chungjeong, which is, I guess, their English name because the box is like Korean writing on it. So we'll get to that. So the first thing we want to do first, the only thing that's not on this list that you see there are carrots and zucchini. Everything else we got covered. So you want to add carrots and zucchini to your list, and hopefully you have something like that in the fridge. And honestly, if you don't have carrots and zucchini lying around, almost any veggie to your taste will go well. The carrots are kind of, zucchini adds a little texture, not much flavor, but the carrots kind of add a sweetness that it might need. So just kind of keep that in mind. All right, so first things first, we are going to cut up this carrot using my favorite knife. So you guys have seen this knife. Look how dirty it is from this morning's excitement. This is the pot we're using. Even though it's a pressure cooker, I'm using it as a pot. But you have seen me use this knife. This is my favorite knife. It is the Hast chef knife. And aside from it being just absolutely beautiful, it is exactly how sharp I want it. Not so sharp I'm scared of it, but not dull where it doesn't do the job. I mean, it really makes things pretty effortless, as you're about to see here. So this I mean, this just really is a great knife. And then it looks good on display when not being used. And it's pretty easy to clean, even though I clearly did not clean it since the last thing I made this morning. But it's, I just, soap and water works great, but it depends on what I'm cutting. I'll throw a little vinegar on there just to disinfect it a little. And then you just kind of wipe it off. Like it's just a beautiful knife. Look how it's shiny on the thing, but like matte on the handle, but it's one piece. I mean, this is really cool. It's a really cool knife. So let's actually get to cutting this carrot. So I'm using my cool knife, and look how easy this puppy cuts. And that's pretty much all we want are these. That one just because my arm was moving on this, but just these carrot medallions. The small ones are great. Just, about that, I think I might cut about that. I might cut these in half just for fun, just to make them a little easier. The bigger pieces. This is a great size because they will soften up a little, which is great. And we are actually going to soften them first. I'm going to show you a trick for cooking with carrots in like a soup or a stew. This is my trick. This one I might actually. There we go. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to pop these in a bowl, and I'm going to quickly pop them in the microwave for a minute. And what that does is it pre-softens them up. So that way you don't have to overcook everything else, because these take longer to cook in a simmer. And we don't have time. I don't have time today. You might. I mean, obviously if we simmer it for hours, any soup is going to be great, but I don't have that kind of time, especially today. So what I'm going to do is what I usually do actually is bring it to a boil and then turn it off, and it's usually good enough. And I don't want to overcook because tofu starts to fall apart and zucchini gets mushy. So I don't want to overcook everything else in the soup. But carrots take a while to soften up. I mean, you don't want them mush, but you don't want them crispy carrot chips, raw carrot chips either. So I'm just going to pop these in the microwave for 1 minute on high. And I am using my GE microwave. It is on this list. Any microwave will do. This is the exact microwave that I'm actually using. So if you are in the market for a microwave, I like these over-the-range ones. And if you're like a home builder or something, these are like the perfect ones. They really are. I mean, it shows well for a general, right? I mean, they almost always come in white and kind of universal, right? And they usually often get them in a combo with this range, but this is the microwave. This is the microwave to get. So that is 11 seconds left on it, and then we are going to move on to our zucchini. And now, I don't know if you can see the steam, but it's just steaming, slightly steaming. That's all I want. That's really all I need. Make sure the carrot juice drops out of there. And that's it. Those carrots now will be perfect without a big boil. So one thing I do want to check out that I did not get to show off, I'm so used to, people who watch this regularly see me show this off on a regular basis, but this is my favorite cutting board, and that is the Cooler Kitchen cutting board. And I mean, I kind of forget because I talk about it so often, but it is possible you haven't seen one of my live streams before, so you're not aware of this cutting board. So just in case, this is the cutting board I prefer to use. It's got the replaceable mat so it doesn't ruin the bamboo, and it's got a little drawer, like a little shelf in here where you can store those mats. And I like how it's got like an elevated thickness, which is just really great in terms of getting, arm length. So you're not too low, you're not too high. It really adds. I mean, it's just a really nice, great cutting board, and it goes my decor. And I usually only end up using 2 of these mats on top because while one's washing, the other one's being used, and then that one's already washed. So I've not even used any of these other ones yet. And they're labeled, which is kind of cute. This one's got a little cow head for you're supposed to cut meat on there. The green one's got a little vegetable, but they're labeled. It's more than I need, but if you're doing a lot of things, it's very smart, and then you can keep things separate and hygienic and all that type of stuff. So now to cut the zucchini, we are going to use this, and this is gonna save us all sorts of time. First things first, though, before we jump to that, is I'm just going to prep the zucchini by cutting it in half. And that's all I need to do right now. Because check this out. So this is... Man, I'm so grateful we live in a time where we have all these cool products just available to us. Oh, this one's not on the list. I wonder if I can actually go back and add it. Okay, I'm about to add this now. So tell me if this works, because I've never added a product mid-stream before. So I'm adding this to the list. Let me know if it shows up. And it is this one. Yep, it is this one. Oh, look at that. It's half off today. Oh, man, you guys lucked out. Live stream. I'm still on? Didn't lose anything? All right, looks like we're back, and it cut you off. I don't know what happened, but I did add that to the live stream, so hopefully it didn't kill you. Hopefully we didn't lose anything with this. So this is it, man. The full star all-in-one vegetable chopper. This puppy, this is something else. Check this out. Let me get so you can see it from this angle. It's got these. They're swappable. You put them out, and they just chop stuff. I mean, it makes life so much easier. It's amazing. It just happens to be like half off today or something crazy like that, right? I mean, that's just really impressive. So that's all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick that on there like that. The zucchini. And watch this. Dude! All right, let's do the other one so we can see that again. So I just put this up like that. All right, so it fits in there. I could have cut that a little smaller just so it fit a little bit. That's it. That's all I'm doing. Check this out. Bam! Is that awesome? Now watch this. You gotta make the sound effect while you do it. So you gotta be careful of those because they are sharp. Look, perfect. It's perfect. Now, even with my awesome knife and great cutting board, this would have taken me that's just for apples. Yeah. So like this full star is something else, and it's got the different attachments in there that the box comes with. We're just using the general kind of cube chopper. It's got all sorts of things that come in there, so you want to check that out. It's called the All-in-One, and it does all sorts of cool things. So, okay, so let me add this to our pot. So that is the full star. Get in there. I don't want to lose out on any of this zucchini skin either. All right. So that is the full star. Saved me a crazy amount of time. So that full star chopper that is something. So now we've got this going, and then we're going to switch over. Now we're ready for our tofu. Where are you, Tofu? It's the brand we all use nonstop. It's like all of us have this brand, Tofu. Everywhere we go in our house. It's crazy. All right, so what I'm going to do with the tofu is I'm actually going to cut it in here. That way, because usually I don't like, my mother wraps it in a towel and drains it. See, look how much nastiness just came off of it. Use a towel. I'm using a towel. Just, I don't want that. And that's my biggest pet peeve about most tofus. I'm not the type of person who wants to sit there and drain it in a towel overnight like that. We're putting it in soup, so the tofu itself can be a little wet. I just don't want, while I'm cutting it, everything else to get all sopping wet. I mean, I drained it, but so I just cut it lightly straight in the package without going through that plastic packaging. And I'm using the whole brick. Boom, and that's it. And now we've got little tofu rectangles that are about this size automatically, which is perfect. And as we stir, some of them might break up. Now this is the firm tofu. Extra firm is great. It's got a little bit of extra firm will have like a little paneer cheese type texture, but thicker, which is great for things if you're tossing it in like spinach or something like that, like chopped spinach. But for a soup, I like something slightly more delicate. A silken is too delicate, but it's funny. I was in Japan. That's how I actually learned how to get used to using chopsticks. My roommate taught me this in Japan, and we'd go. He was working on his postdoc over there, and so I would just kind of hang out on campus and be stuck in their cafeteria, right? And I was getting used to using chopsticks, and I would use that silken tofu. And he said that's how he learned. Like, if you can eat silken tofu with chopsticks, by the time you're able to eat silken tofu for lunch with chopsticks, you're pretty good with chopsticks. So it was great practice. But again, this is not silken, so firm. So not extra firm, not silken, but firm. Now I don't mind if any of this juice gets in there. Dump that in there. While I'm at it, I'm just gonna cut this up just a little more. I was kind of gentle with it. I didn't want to. I didn't want to puncture the container. And again, it's soup. These don't need to be pretty. I make this for my family, and they like it cut a little smaller. I like the big chunks. I also like eating it with chopsticks and a spoon. So it's kind of, there's a little, so I don't mind the big chunks. But I mean, it'll break up. This knife is so sharp. And the zucchini got stuck on the end of it. All right. So we have added our tofu. Next up on our list is our chicken broth. Now I'm going to use Swanson 33% less sodium broth. And again, veggie broth is just fine. But I am using this one, Swanson Natural Goodness, and we're going to use the whole thing. This way we won't have to add any water. There are lots of times where I make soup where I add water and then I flavor everything straight from the water. But there's enough in here. There's 4 cups in here. And I like my soup hearty. So you may want to add water and then more flavoring, or 2 of these. If more than 3 people plan on eating this, you may want to use 2 of these. You don't need to add more stuff, but a lot of people don't mind their soup more soupy, but I kind of want this hearty. All right, so pour this stuff in here. See how much it fills up. I mean, for me, this is the perfect amount of broth. Squeeze it a little. Get every last bit out of there. Awesome. Awesome. So now we've got our broth in there. We have got our zucchini in there. We've got our softened up carrot. We've got our tofu. Now we can start seasoning. And the first thing I like to season with is, now we use the low sodium chicken broth for this reason, because I like to, for the salt, I want to use black truffle salt. Comes in a little baggie. And they're big. They're like big chunks. They got little chunks of truffle and black pepper. And it's pretty salty, so I don't want to use too much. Plus, I'm going to spike it with some more seasoning. All right, so next, so that was black truffle sea salt that we just added. Kind of add to taste. I'm just kind of intuitively know how much I want in there, so you might want to taste how you go as you go. And did I remember to add? Yes, I did. All right, so next on our list is Masola Sazon, the red one. And this is basically, imagine if Dorito powder wasn't cheesy. Like, take away the cheesiness of Dorito powder, and that's what this tastes like. So I'm just adding just salt. We don't want to make it too salty either. But it really brings out the flavor and stuff. Like this stuff is just killer. When I use it on so much. I mean, it's really good stuff. All right, so you can look at that bottle of Masola and start adding things to your cart while I go down the list. Make sure I didn't forget anything. All right, so next up, we're going to use my favorite hot sauce, which you see me use everywhere. Which is so funny. There's actually a hot sauce brand with my name on it, and I use Valentina. Don't tell that company that makes that hot sauce. Yeah, there is hot sauce with my name and picture on it, and I still use the everyday Valentina. So this is the one with the yellow label, not the black label. The one with the black label is spicy and actually might be too spicy. We don't want things too spicy to overwhelm the flavors from this soup. So even though I like things spicy, it's not appropriate for a soup like this. So we want to use the yellow label, which just kind of adds a vinegary, red peppery taste to it. And let me give you an overhead view so you can actually see exactly how many drops are coming out of this. See that? Just a few drops. See how it's just kind of dropping out? That's what we want. And we're not going to add too much because our awesome ingredient is coming up soon. And that's that persimmon vinegar. First, one more spice that I want to add in here. That is this puppy right here. Come on, you. There we go. It's TK, which stands for Totally Kosher. And I've been using this a lot this year. And this is their Hawaii, I believe is how you say it, soup spice mix. It's called Hawaii for soup. And it's basically, imagine if curry powder wasn't so curry-like, right? It's like a less intense curry powder, but amazing. So like it really brings out a depth of flavor that you normally would not get without using it. So I mean it's pretty great stuff. So let's just get in a couple dashes. Maybe a little more than that. Come on, you. There we go. I mean, it looks like I'm using a lot, but I'm not. Just a little bit comes out each time. And I always want to be careful not to get a bunch on my fingers because it's still a curry powder, even though it's not curry-like. That smell, I mean, they're pretty aromatic. So that smell is kind of hard to get off your skin. So you kind of want to be careful how you hold the ball. All right, so now we can get into this amazing. This is, and like I said, it's in Korean, but it says, I should actually highlight this because we are shopping for this in English. This, and in English is Cheongjongwon, which I'm assuming that's what that says. Cheongjongwon, I'm assuming that's what that says. And it is persimmon vinegar. So here's the benefit of shopping for this here is you can actually see what it is. Like if you're in the store, you would have to like guess because there's no English on this box whatsoever. And I keep it in the box because it's just so fancy. So this is, and so persimmon vinegar has, I mean, it's just the taste that comes out of this is just something else. I mean, I can't even describe it. Like you legit have to try persimmon vinegar if you haven't tried it before. Normally, before I got turned on to this vinegar, I would use apple cider vinegar in a soup like this. This is just adds a level of flavor that ACV just can't even come close to. I got to smell it first. Oh, it's like magic. So let's put some persimmon vinegar in here, and not a lot at all. I want to let me do my left hand so you can see what's going on. That's it. Maybe one more. That's it. I mean, this is going to give it a persimmon vinegar taste. I can't even describe it. This is going to give it a taste that is, I mean, it's game changing. This vinegar is game changing in terms of Asian cooking. I put back in my fancy box. You can tell I cherish this vinegar. This vinegar is very important. It's that good. All right, so let me put it back in its sacred spot. It's funny, now I have a ton of apple cider vinegar that I don't use since I got that. So I need to start saving that for special occasions. And beside the kitchen where I actually have which ladle do I want to use? I think I'm going to use this wide mouth. Just going to give this a little stir before putting it on the stove. I just want to move things around. I don't need to stir it horribly. And I could use this to break up that tofu a little more. And that's the color we want right there. It's exactly what we want. Seriously, when you taste this, you're gonna go nuts. You're gonna go nuts. I like you are. You're gonna go nuts. It's gonna be a depth of flavor that I assure you've not experienced. Like even in an awesome restaurant. All right, so now all I've got to do is pop this on the stove, uncovered, on high. I'm just going to bring it to a boil. And as soon as it starts to boil is when I'm going to shut it off. And then it's good. Then I can let it sit there for 5 to 10 minutes and it's done. Now it's ready to eat cold, actually. Like it's ready to go. So that's all that's left. Like you don't need to simmer it. You don't need to boil it. If you wanted to, it's done. And you can pack it up now for the week and there's microwave bowls of it if you really wanted to. Like it's good to go. And that is it in a nutshell. Because, you know, I don't know about you. We're not going to sit around for the 10 to 15 minutes for that to go to a boil. So is there anything else I forgot on here? I think that is everything. So if there are any questions or anything else on here, now's your chance to actually scroll through and add any products to the cart that you want. Well, there you have it. That is our Asian soup. It is, you got to try it. You just got to try it. All right.